our final exam review quiz part 1. We're asked to solve for u, and we're given an equation. We'll go with this at two different ways. We could use quadratic formula, factoring, such. We can also do graphing. Basically, we've got the right side and the left side. I got that backwards, the left side and the right side. So what we will do is the graphical method. You let you're going to graph the left side as, say, y1. Doesn't really matter, could be y2, but as one of the y functions. We'll graph the right side as another y function, and we will look for where these two intersect with each other. That's when they will be equal. Okay. We'll also come back in another method, but if you've got a graphing calculator, might as well use it as much as possible. So the left side is 5u, which we'll use x squared. Right? And we arrow over -6. That's on the left side. Enter. For y2, we're going to put everything from the right side, which is simply 7u, or 7x. And now when we graph these, we are graphically going to solve this for wherever they're intersecting. That's where the solution is. To see the graph, I like to go to Zoom 6, which is our standard view to start. It's not we don't always see things. Yeah, see, we don't quite see enough. I see an intersection down here, and I see that I'm off the screen with the other one, but I see I just need my y value to go up some more. So I come back to Window, and I'm going to make my y maximum, that's the top of the screen, let's make it 20. That should be enough to get us there. Enter, graph it, and now I see the intersection. There is a tool here under the Calc menu, so second Calc, which is the trace button, but the Calc is above it, and it will find intersections. Come down to number 5. Could have just entered the number 5. Going to do an intersection. So it asks for the first curve, the blue. It's on the blue one. Again, if you don't have a color one, you should see it. It's on white one. Yeah, that's one of my curves. Enter. Jumps to the other one, and when you've only graphed 2, this makes it really easy. You just kind of don't have to think too much. I'm going to hit enter again for the second curve, and I'm going to hit enter for the guess. Now, when I do that, it's going to go to whichever intersection is closest. So it's going to find this one at the bottom. And so when I want to find the one on the top, I'm going to have to move closer to the one on the top. Okay, whichever one I'm closest to, and there it is. It found it at -0.6 and -4.2. Okay, so I'm going to write these down over here as a solution. What we're looking for is what x value makes them equal. Well, so that's really what we're looking for, is x, or u, equals -0.6. Now, notice they've got this fraction. They're going to want a fraction for this. So again, we'll find it, and we'll find the other one first, though, as well. So let's go to the next one. We do the same thing, second Calc. We're going to go for intersect. I'm just going to hit the 5 this time. And I am on the blue curve, but I want to be closer to the other one. I could just hit enter, but let's just get closer to the point of intersection we're trying to find. So yeah, that's it. Yep, I'm on the y2. That's what I want. And I hit enter for my guess, and it finds the second one, which is a nice just x equals 2. U equals 2. So the only one I really have problems with is 0.6. That you can well, it's a 1/5. 1 divided by 5 is 0.2. That's a 20%. So 2 divided by 2/5 would be 0.4, and 3/5 is 0.6. But if you didn't know that, you could come here, and we're going to use the fraction. So what we're going to do, we can't do it there. Second quit. We come back to the main screen. We put in our -0.6, and we're going to hit the math key, fraction, and it turns it into -3/5. So that's what we're going to want to put in here. the negative in the front or with the 3. Either one will do it. Separate them with commas. Okay, so comma, positive 2 is the other one. So that's nice and easy. So that's a graphical way of doing it. If we want to take the approach of the quadratic formula or factoring of some sort, what we're going to do is we rewrite it. Just have it ready to work on. We want to get everything on one side. We want to get it equal to 0, so we will subtract 7u, u, not y. So we get 5u squared minus 7u minus 6 equals 0. Now you might notice that 6 is 1 times 6, but here's the deal is we're subtracting. Whatever we multiply the 6 by, we're going to subtract. And then we've got this 5u thing here. So let's see if this will factor. This may be a difficult one, but the only way to get 5 is nice because it's a prime number, is 1 times 5. So we can go 5u times u. That will give us 5u squared. These two numbers here have to multiply to give us 6. But when we subtract what we call the cross product, so 5 times this one and this times that one, we need to get -7. They need to subtract to give us -7. Now 6, we could have a 2 and a 3. So there's a couple options here, right? 6 could be 1 times 6, could be 2 times 3. Let me just kind of walk through this. If I do 3 here, I get 15, and then I put a 2 here. 15 minus 2 is only going to be 13. It's not 7. If I put a 2 here, 5 times 2 is 10, minus 3, that's 7. Okay, so you kind of play with the, so I know that here I'm going to have either a 2 or a 3, or a 1 or a 6, but I'm just going to say, let me try this one first. So let's do 5 times 2, that'll give us 10u. We'll put a 3 here. So since it's one of them has to be negative, that's what this sign here says, is they're opposite signs, and we're going to subtract. This one says the larger of the two values needs to be negative, and 5 times 2 is going to be the larger value. So we need that to be negative, this to be positive. Kind of think through this. And you could FOIL it back out, and you'll see you'll get 5u squared. 5u times -2 is 10u minus 10u. 3 times u is plus 3u, and 3 times 2 is -6. Here we have in the middle our -7u, got our -6, and we have our 5u squared. We got back to where we started, so this is the correct factoring. And now we see this, we're going to see our 3/5, and we're going to see our 2. So we have 5u plus 3 equals 0. Let's solve that. Subtract 3 from both sides. 5u equals -3. I divide both sides by 5. Cancels, we get u equals -3/5, just like we got up there. Over here, we get u minus 2 equals 0. We add 2 to both sides, giving us u equals 2, just like we got up there. We got our same two answers. So if we could do it with factoring, we could do it with graphing, whichever you prefer.